Once again, I salute you friends and thank you for watching my previous videos. It's Teacher Chimbo David with yet another video talking about the
competence-based curriculum. We're going to talk about a few things in regards to what is required by UNEB in our new curriculum, lower level, and most especially in
ICT.
Now, first of all, you're going to understand what a construct is. You know, when we talk about new lower level secondary school curriculum, you not miss talking about a construct. A construct is a graduate profile which describes what the learner will be as a result of attaining the competencies in a given subject. So it is one, but it has elements or building blocks. So element is what the learner is attempting to become after getting all the knowledge and some other things that he will be aiming at the end of the study. In very many other subjects, there are many constructs. But in ICT, we have only one construct, and that construct has a number of building blocks, as we're going to see as I explain. First of all, what is the construct in ICT? In ICT, the construct is appreciates and uses ICT to solve societal problems. So, a learner has to appreciate and use ICT to solve problems in the society. That is the construct that we are all aiming. The elements or the building blocks that are used in coming up with the construct scene are 5. I have 3 in paper 1, that is 840 stroke 1, the theory paper, and have the rest of the 2 or the other 2 in paper 2 and 3. Paper 1, let's first of all about paper 1 of our paper. And see the 3 elements of construct. First of all, the first element of construct is appreciates and manages the computer system. Appreciates and manages the computer system. Now, the learner here has to appreciate and manage the computer system. In this, he has to know a number of tools that make up a computer system and some other things that we can talk about. This element of construct is actually covering work from senior 1 and some part of senior 2, where we see the introduction, computers, computer system and computer hardware and system startup, files and folder management, and very many others. Appreciate and manages the computer system. So in this, the learners should know a number of ICT tools and where they are used and how they are used. A number of questions can be set from this element of construct. And this element of construct is what is always asked in paper 1, question number 1 or item number 1. As regards to the new lower level curriculum. Element of construct 2 is appreciate ICT safety and proper management of e-waste. Now, ICT safety, that one is covered in senior 2, where we look at health and safety. That is senior 2, actually it can be senior 2 third term. health and safety, where we look at the safety precautions, where we look at the ICT health hazards or health issues that are associated with prolonged use of ICT tools, that is health and safety. Then proper management of e-waste, that is senior 4 work, where we look at e-waste management as a topic. So questions and element of construct 2 are always in section B, part 1. And actually, or definitely, you can set a number of questions under those two things. Appreciates ICT safety, and then number 2, proper management of e-waste. So like I've told you, appreciating ICT safety, you can talk of how you can protect yourself from how ICT affects you and how you can protect the machine itself, plus the environment. Number 2, e-waste management. You talk of how best you can handle the refuse of electronic devices that are becoming a problem to society today. And number 3, we look at the access, stores, and shares information using ICTs. Now here we look at topics like information access and sharing. We look at, now here we can also involve some practical work, like when you talk of access, Excel, where we can actually manage a few data and then share it with others, either using emails, WhatsApp, and some other social media platform that we can use in sharing information. This one also talks about actually using other offline means of sharing information and accessing information. Like for example, you can access information offline using Encarta Encyclopedia, an application that you can download on Google, install it on computers, and people can search information from there and actually share it with others using a number of means. Those are the 3 elements of construct involved or in paper 1 of computer theory 840/1. I said it has 3 elements of construct, and the 1 appreciates and manages the computer system, appreciates ICT safety and proper management of e-waste, and number 3, access, stores, and shares. Now the first one, appreciates and manages the computer system. Here, the questions that are set concerning this, they have a number of things that we look for or we want to see the candidate present if such a question is asked in line with appreciating and managing the computer system. Number 1, we have skill, score, scoring criteria, and then total. The skill, mention the relevant ICT tool. A person has to mention the tool. For example, someone is setting up a cafe. What are the tools required? A mention of a tool, that is very important. Explain how it is applied or how the tool works, or description of the tool that has been mentioned. And number 3, judgment or solution or recommend. How will that tool be used in solving a problem that is in the scenario given in question? So you see, mentioning is a 1, description is a 1, or explaining how it is applied, and number 3, your judgment. How will a tool help in solving a problem that is in the scenario? Carries 2, and there you have 3. And you're seeing the weight falls in your judgment. Mentioning alone is not enough. Mentioning and describing also is not enough. But when you mention and describe and then make a judgment, Engagement, I've talked of how will the tool be used to help in solving the problem that will be in the scenario. So 2 correct skills: mention and explain. 1 correct skill, no response. So if at all you actually mention 2 tools, sorry, I wrote skills instead of tools, 2 correct tools. When you mention a tool and then explain how it works, you get 2 marks. 1 correct tool, 1 mark, and no response, 0. Judgment with reason, 2 marks. Only giving judgment, 1 mark. In other words, you need to say this tool will help us do ABCD because of ABCD. Also give reasons. For example, if the example I've given of a cafe, you tell us that you will need computers because these are the machines that are going to be used when accessing the internet. And total, you can see 0 2 times the expected number of ICT tools. If at all the tools required are 5, you will get the number of tools measured times, the expected number of tools. Now we actually go to element of construct 2. Element of construct 2 was appreciates ICT safety and proper management of e-waste, and this one is awarded as follows. We need someone to mention or identify the relevant item, cause, or stakeholder. Now remember, as item 2 is always in section B. It's always in section B, and has 2 areas where questions can be set from. 1, we said ICT health and safety, that is senior 2 third term, and 2 senior 4 term 2 e-waste management. So they can actually tell you how you can manage e-waste, ask you about how you can manage e-waste, or they can even ask about health and safety precautions that someone can carry out in case there is prolonged use of ICT tools. For example, they can tell you a new venture has come and they're bringing an organization is bringing ICT trainings to the people in your village, but people are excited because of computers, since most of them have never seen them, and so they're very happy, they want to use them, and due to excitement they may end up having prolonged hours of using such computers. So how can we help them to prevent or to mitigate or to actually reduce the effects that will befall them due to prolonged use of ICT tools? So you mention or you identify the relevant effect, talk of what causes the effect, explain how it is applied and used or caused, what causes the effect, and 3, how can you avoid the effect, or how can you reduce the impact of the effect on the people that are using ICT tools, and so many others. And lastly, element of construct 3 that says access, stores, and shares information using ICTs. So the first skill, outline relevant step. Now here we need steps, because in most of the cases here what is said is someone want to apply online, someone want to send maybe photos or maybe some other documents to somebody else. So how can he write a letter, send it to the company where he's applying to, and actually wait for feedback. They most of the times also add on attaching something like any other document. For example, you can say, how can you attach academic documents on the same email and you send it to the employer? And definitely, if at all someone knows whatever he's doing, is well conversant, he can definitely tell the right steps to go to follow when actually applying online or sending something using a computer, email, WhatsApp, and other social media platform. Now you can look at this mention step plus identify the tools plus explain. Now this one now goes further. You have to mention a step, identify the tool that you use, and explain. For example, you can say the first step is to make sure you have an internet connection. So explain how you can easily or definitely get closer. Other things that we definitely consider, we say all sheets must be all correct skills must be given a mark of 3. 2 correct skill, mark of 2. 1 correct skill, 1. No response, definitely 0. All logic steps partially flowing, and so many others. In other words, when you make steps and those steps are not following each other well, it will definitely affect the overall output or outcome. Examination format. The paper has 2 sections, A and B. A candidate shall attempt only 3 questions from both the sections. Section A will consist of 1 compulsory item from the first element of construct. Section B consists of 4 optional items, 2 from the first element of construct, and then B from the other second and the third elements of construct. A candidate attempts to 1 item from each of the elements of account. Section B will consist of 2 parts, 1 and 2. Part 1 will consist of items from the theme of ICT safety and environment. Part 2 will consist items from the theme data management and sharing, and everything will follow under that. A candidate shall answer 2 items, choosing 1 item from each of the parts, part 1 and 2. The paper will take 2 hours and 15 minutes. It covers 50% for the end of cycle assessment. Like I said, there are 5 elements of construct, and 3 are in theory, then 2 are in practical.
Element of construct 1 is the learner has to manipulate data using different application programs. So in this element, the learner uses different programs and come up with a single solution to a problem that is given. Now, element of construct number 2, the learner uses publishing software to design, produce, and publish publications and websites. So he has actually to read and understand the problem given at hand, and then uses the publishing software he or she is used to, and designs or comes up with a design of a website or an online platform. Now let's look at the scoring criteria of that element of construct if at all we have a question concerning that in our practical work. Now someone has to use an appropriate application. Here there are three like steps that have to be involved in this. One, planning. There has to be a planning session, manipulation, and then someone would produce an output of a product to be displayed. So the learner needs to have the ability to use the right application. Has to be in position to enter the data properly, edit it, format it, because the more formatting feature a learner uses, the more the score. Because our score is 3, so the more the learner has more formatting and editing features used and used rightly, he will definitely score the highest mark. Now let us go to the element of construct 2, that is coming up with a publication that should be used maybe in form of a website or any other kind of publication that the learner can come up with. In most of the cases, they are required to come up with an online platform. But as you're coming up with a platform, you need first of all to have an appropriate application. You should not be told to come up with an online platform and then for you use Microsoft Word to come up with an online platform. So the application has to be appropriate there to score the mark. Now number 2, you actually need to have the content. If the scenario talks about something, you need to create content that is related to the scenario that you have to talk about. You need to come up with a layout that is convincing. When you create a website, for example, that has a layout that is not convincing, it definitely bores people and people will not visit your site. You need to have the graphics and actually come up with a page that contrasts properly, not having a dull background, then dull text on top of the dull background. That one will lead to loss of marks or scores. Paper 2 consists of 2 compulsory items, and those items are got from the 4th and the 5th elements of construct. These items are chosen basing on the practical part of our paper or of our curriculum or of our content that we have to study. And these ones, data management and sharing, then plus publications. Under data management and sharing, we have 3 applications: MS Excel, MS Word, and MS PowerPoint. Then under publication, that's where we have web designing, whatever applications the learner may be familiar to or familiar with. This paper takes 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it accounts for 50% of the general examinations, that is from paper 1 and paper 2. Like we said earlier on, paper 1 takes 50%, and paper 2 also takes 50% to make 100% of the entire paper. In our next session, we are going to look at some of the examples or samples of such questions. We've so far had now a good number of samples. UNEB has given samples, Wakish has given samples. So we are going to keep on answering those questions such that we can get familiar to the form or to the format of these papers. And come UNEB, we need to excel in this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. God bless you.